All right, you guys. So I wanted to do a new mod video on my car, and from the last one that I did a couple of years ago. So as you can see, a couple of things have changed from that mod video that I did all those years ago, and I'm very happy with the way that the car came out. So I wanted to kind of do a walk around with you guys real quick and just kind of show you the outside of the car. Some things remain the same, some things have changed a little bit, but overall the car is relatively the same. There's just a very few amount of minor mods that have changed from that mod video I did, about 2 to 3 years ago, that has had actually great success on my YouTube channel. So because you guys wanted to know more about this car and do some more videos on it, I wanted to do an update mod video on it of 3 years later. So here we are. And probably one of the biggest things you'll notice is the front mount intercooler kit that is on the car. And that is a Godspeed Project / Rev9 Power front mount intercooler kit. That's where I bought it from. And I did another video on it already, review video on the intercooler kit, so you can watch that video. But there's plenty others that are exactly like this. But a couple of other little things I've done. I've gone from the cold air intake that was in the video to the parent short ram air. That was actually a pretty simple mod because all you had to do is get rid of that cold air extension to it. I've also got a oil catch can here connected up to the PCV system. One of the other things that I did in the intercooler video, I showed the Godspeed Project blow-off valve. I replaced it with the actual Turbo XS 50/50 hybrid blow-off valve, and it actually just slips right on because this kit is a replica of the Turbo XS kit. So that's one of the newer mods that I've actually done, and it sounds great, looks great, and it fits perfectly. The turbocharger that's on it is still the VF39. For all that thing that's been through, it's been flawless so far. Parent lightweight crank pulley down there. It's a little dirty, but you can see parent lightweight crank pulley. Let's see. I do not have the headers on the car anymore. The main reason for that was they are stainless steel, and I didn't realize that if you wrap 304 stainless steel, they will eventually crack because of the heat that the turbo engines produce. So that's one thing I didn't know. I cracked a weld on the O2 sensor, so I am eventually going to get those fixed, welded right, probably get them ceramic coated. That way they retain some heat but still escape a little bit of it. And eventually I'll go back to the unequal length stainless steel headers. The motor, if you've seen my videos, the WRX file videos, the motor is a new motor that's in the car. Cylinder 4, which is this one right here. That runner right there goes to cylinder 4. Cylinder 4 had low compression on it. And I know some of you are going to say, well, because it's not tuned properly, blah, blah, blah. This thing is pro-tuned. It's pro-tuned by IA Performance, okay? The little background about the motor that was on the car, I bought this car with 50,000 miles on it, and I had no idea a lot about Subarus. I was a Mitsubishi guy, so I went ahead and just bought this car, thinking everything was cool, everything was fine. Well, come to find out that a couple of friends showed me some less than happy things about the motor. That this actually had nitrous on it at one point. So before I even bought it, the car had nitrous sprayed on it, and that's no good on a turbo engine, particularly an EJ205. So that motor, the cylinder went out. It's been out for a while. The last time I did a compression test on it prior to this was when the car only had 60,000 miles on it, and it was reading lower compression than all of the other cylinders, but it finally went out. So I went and put another engine in it. This is a 2-liter. It's another EJ205 engine. There's nothing special about it, but it did come back in as equal compression. We cleaned up the engine, made it look as nice as possible for the engine bay, but it came out of a Saab 92X Aero. And I think that's a positive thing about this, is because a lot of Saab owners didn't know what they had, and unless you knew about cars, you didn't realize that it was really just a WRX that you had. So I think that's a positive of what I had. So the new motor in it, and compression, everything came back perfect on this engine. So we just cleaned it up, made it look nice and neat, replaced some vacuum lines for the evap system, and everything looks really, really good, and everything runs really nice. So going over the mods again, we have a Perrin master cylinder brace, dirty as hell, as you can see. Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have? We have a 3-inch downpipe wrapped up at the top, trying to reduce the amount of heat getting to that top intercooler pipe, because it's odd because it flows this way out of the turbocharger up through this pipe in the back, down here, down through the front mount, up through the fender well, and then over up through here. And as you can see, that pipe goes right across the turbocharger right there. Now, one of the other things that I did, a little trick mod. This is just a free mod that you can use. Obviously, you can see I don't have any solenoids or anything right here, because I have a 3-port. It's mounted right here. That's a Mac 3-port, by the way. Mac 3-port boost control solenoid. You can pick those up for like $35 on eBay. And they just wire right in. It's basically the same as a Cobb, if you haven't seen my other videos on it. But your daytime running light module sits like right here. And it's a big, long silver piece. And it actually, if you have a front mount intercooler, it actually rubs right up against it. And that little module for the daytime runners get really, really hot. So it was actually heating this pipe up. So that's something that I actually deleted, got rid of the daytime running lights, which I kind of like it looks a little bit better anyways. But I got rid of the daytime running lights, and it actually keeps that pipe a little bit cooler. So that's something that was kind of nice about it. I've got a thermal zero turbo blanket on the turbocharger itself, and you can see the Grimspeed wastegate bracket that I have on here. Just a basic eBay type strut tower brace that I've had on forever and a day. Down below, I don't know if we can actually see it, but you can see that pink bar kind of sitting right there. That pink bar is a lower front H brace, or ladder brace, ladder bar, as some like to call it. And that just kind of stiffens up the front chassis to the actual unibody chassis of the vehicle. So it does, that's probably the most rigid piece you can buy. Strut tower braces work great, but I think that's probably the best one you can buy. Let's see, wheels haven't changed. I've done they're a little, because I just washed it, but you can see they're a little bit rusty on there. But the rotors that are on here are cross-drilled rotors. I've been driving the hell out of it, and those are from Brake Labs on eBay, and I got all 4 for like $200 with pads. And honestly, I haven't had any issues. No warping, no nothing, no premature wear. The pads have been great. Everything's been great with those. Let's see. Oh, from that mod video, everything's actually painted properly. I have a proper front lip on it too. And the fender had the Band-Aid on it. It's no longer there. New fender. So that's pretty much what I've done in that aspect of the engine bay. Perrin turbo inlet hose, all that kind of stuff still on it. Injectors are the JDM STI 565 pink injectors. The fuel pump on it, of course, I can't really show you it because it's in the fuel tank, but fuel pump on it is a WRX DW200 fuel pump. It flows at 255 liters per hour. So it's a 255 fuel pump essentially, but it's made by WRX, and they make a great and excellent product. And of course, got to have some show stuff to the engine bay. So of course we have the Perrin alternator cover and also the Grimspeed tool tray radiator shroud to it. And like I said, I try to keep everything as clean as I can in the engine bay. The rest of the car might not look that clean, but at least that does. Springs that are on it are still the JDM STI Spec C pink springs that are on it. And again, Don't know if you can really get up in there and see them. Sort of. You can see the pink spring. There you go. JDM pink springs on it. Eventually, those are going to get replaced. Because, again, future mods that I want to do to this car, I really, really, really want to... Let's see if I can get this thing in focus. Here we go. Maybe. Where are you out of focus? There we go. Couple of mods that I want to do that are going to be a little bit different. I do want to upgrade the fuel injectors. I want to put a set of 750cc injectors on here. The turbocharger is starting to wear out a little bit. Not a lot, but it is a little bit. It's starting to smoke a little bit out the exhaust, and that's usually a sign of the turbocharger going out. So eventually I'm going to upgrade that, and I'm kind of in the toss-up between just getting that rebuilt or getting like an 18G turbocharger to throw on it. But I do want to get bigger injectors. That way I can put a little bit more boost pressure on the car and get a little bit more aggressive tune out of it. Now that the motor's running great, because it's actually making great power across the entire RPM range, it doesn't hesitate. It just runs great. The exhaust on it is another eventual, I don't want to say upgrade, but that straight through exhaust that I have down here, and I've had that on forever, since I pretty much bought the car. And it's a nice exhaust, but I'm a little bit older, I've got a kid, and I want something that's a little bit more, quieter, I guess. So I'm looking at an SRS exhaust that's more like an OE style, where it's an actual muffler and a tip, and it's a little bit smaller, and I think it's going to look a lot better, a lot more subtle. So that's a future mod that I plan on doing as well. The springs will get replaced. I plan on doing coilovers, but don't worry, it's not going to be slammed. It's not going to be stanced out, yo. I'm actually just putting coilovers on to really keep the ride height about the same, maybe a little bit less in the rear. And there's not much. I can go lower. So I want to go a little bit less in the rear and probably about another maybe half inch to 3/4 of an inch in the front, just to give it a nice little stance. Underneath the car, let's see if we can get underneath there. Oh. Underneath there is a Godspeed 22 millimeter rear sway bar. And that thing's been great for me. The handling is absolutely amazing. The car keeps planted on the road very, very well. But a couple upgrades that I want to do here. I want to replace the end links on here with good aftermarket end links. The rear diff also has the Cartboy subframe lockdown bolts, which makes a huge difference in the way that the rear end is set up on this car. So a couple of things on here that have made a difference to kind of make the back end handle a lot better. So, but you can see my exhaust. Eventually, I'd like to go and get that replaced, and kind of move on from that. So a couple little minor upgrades that I really want to do. Really, just the fuel injectors, change out the exhaust, and do a set of coilovers on here. To give it a little bit better aggressive stance. And so then we now go to the interior of the car. Let me go to the driver's seat here. Okay. And this is probably the newest upgrade that I've done to the car. I'm very, very proud of this. Look at that center console. Yes. That's probably my favorite upgrade that I've done so far recently. Was I actually did the 3M 3D carbon fiber wrap. I've got to thank Gearhead Designs for doing this. My friend David is the one that did the wrapping, and it actually came out and looked absolutely amazing. To me, the video just doesn't do it justice. It's truly an amazing work here, and I did the little side vents too. And really, I did this because it kind of blends with the interior trim, which I know is a little dirty. That's why I can't have nice things. But the interior trim, like on the door panels, has that carbon fiber weave on the 05. So it just kind of blends in with it. And that's what I kind of like, is it just kind of flows together. So a couple of things that, are upgraded. We have the upgraded, hey, shift knob. Yes, upgraded shift knob from Perrin. The sticker kind of came off, so I need to get a new sticker for it. But it is the adjustable fat whatever shift knob that I like. It feels really nice when you're shifting. The shifting kit that's underneath is a Perrin adjustable short throw shifter kit, which utilizes your factory shifter itself. It just kind of rotates it, and you put the thing on top, and it just kind of shorten. You can just adjust the throw to this thing, so you can make it shorter or longer depending on how you like it. Mine's kind of like right in the middle, so it's just enough to have a nice short throw, but it's not too long of a throw either. So that's something that I've worked on here. JVC radio, that's going to get replaced here soon. Greddy full auto turbo timer. Kind of useful, but on a vehicle that has the that has a water-cooled turbo, it's almost useless, but it's still good to have. Hey, red hazard button. Best friend got that for me a couple of years ago. JDM red hazard button. Cool. Pro Sport boost gauge. And that's pretty much it on the interior of the car. iPod. That's really about it that we've done to the interior of the car. The speakers have been upgraded. There is a subwoofer in the trunk, but I'm not really. It's nothing special. So this switch, by the way, that does nothing. It doesn't do anything at all. It's just there. It's not even connected up to anything. The previous owner, again, I think they used that for the nitrous or something along the lines, but it doesn't work. It's not connected up to anything. It's just kind of there. So. But that's pretty much the car as it sits right now. And of course, I'm going to get some hate for this, I think. Y'all are probably going to hate me for this. Hey, look, reverse scoop. Yeah, I went with the reverse scoop. It's more functional with a front mount. So y'all can hate me for it if you want. But, it's more functional. And surprisingly enough, local Subaru enthusiasts around me have actually liked that look. With without having the hood scoop. So, but those are the mods for the car currently. I plan on doing these other mods, and I will definitely update you guys with new videos on this car. So keep your eye out on other videos on this car. Of course, some of the other stuff that I missed was the Grimspeed external wastegate up pipe with the tile 38mm wastegate. That's on here. But a lot of the stuff that's from the old video is still on this car. There's very, very minor mods that I've done since then. So keep your eye out for the new videos sometime here soon. And if you haven't gone over and subscribed yet to not only my channel, but please go over and subscribe to this guy's channel. And visit his website, boostaholics.com. That's my friend Mike Baranis. A really awesome guy. Helped me out a lot. Over the past couple of years. So if you haven't gone and checked out his YouTube page yet, please, by all means, go and check that out. So if you like the video, subscribe, keep watching. I'm going to update you. Every view that you guys give me, or every share that you guys give me, every subscriber you guys give me, all the money is going to be going back into this car. So anything you guys watch, anything that I earn is going back into this car. So hopefully if you guys help me out, you guys will see an awesome video, because I plan on doing some build and see what this EJ205 can really put out. Now that I have a good fresh motor in here, I really want to see what this thing's capable of. So I want to see if I could get a bigger turbo, bigger fuel injectors, and let's do some other stuff. And hopefully you guys will help me out, and I'll actually be able to take this thing down to Sebring International Raceway for a good track day down there. So please, you guys, definitely subscribe, watch my videos, And hopefully I'll see you guys soon.